TSN. There were some labor questions, and looks like there's going to be some lawsuits filed against TSN illegally using migrant workers, apparently, in some facilities in the U.S. for Tyson Foods, if you're wondering what TSN is. Here's how the overall S&P 500 is looking at this point. As I said, we are positive, but only just 0.25, 0.3 for both the S&P and the NASDAQ. A lot of tech strength, or not a lot of strength, but strength coming from tech. At this point this afternoon, there's NVIDIA leading the way right now, 1%. Nice bounce back for Apple, back to about 0.73, 0.75. Qualcomm having a nice day as well, about 2% to the upside. Everything else kind of there or thereabouts, chopping around. Oracle still negative on that downgrade this morning. Amazon, great look, 1.6%. We'll talk about why coming up here with Claude getting an investment. Claude AI, if you missed it this morning, getting an investment from Amazon to the tune of $1.25 billion to start, but could be as much as $4 billion when all is said and done. This group as well, energy stocks, very nice day, right across the board, the entire group up. Better part of 1 full percent. Oil, dead flat on the session. So yeah, explain that one. This was kind of an interesting note as well. Morgan Stanley strategist advocates defensive stance as market dynamics shift a little bit. We were touching on this a little bit last week, whether or not, you know, we'll get a bigger pullback, whether or not the bottom will break. We've seen on individual names, individual stocks, the bottom breaking. But here's the market trying to hold Friday's lows here as we head into the final 2 hours of Monday afternoon. Let's touch on a few things that we were discussing. If you're with us in the pre-market this morning, we'll spend a little time, go back, see how things played out from how they were setting up in the pre-market. One of those groups was Alibaba, or not Alibaba, but Chinese ADRs downside in a big way, right across the board on a number of different catalysts. My chart is not working. Trade ideas, there we go. But all kind of looking like this now. We had these huge gaps form in the pre-market. All of them kind of looking like this now, trying to get back to the upside in a big way. So negativity to start the day, guys, turning into a bit of a bounce play, maybe, so far, as we head into the final couple hours here.
Not too much negativity anymore. I mean, the only, well, there we go. I was actually muted there. I literally just turned it to. The funny thing was, as I was talking, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm muted. The negativity that was there this morning, actually not just this morning, but last week as well. It feels like it's abated. The only thing negative right now, mine that's negative because I was trying to short this morning. And then, of course, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit negative because I might have to go to the unemployment line after watching Adara perform in the midday. I think that was an absolutely fantastic segment. I know Sean and I were sitting here listening, and I thought Sharif did a fantastic job teaching. And we're looking forward to this segment on a daily basis, and I know everyone in the chat is, because that was a heck of a lot of fun. And I think one of the best things about that segment was getting a chance to see some viewers that I have not seen in the chat, quite frankly.
Something's wrong with the audio.
A lot of new people were in the chat asking questions, and there's no such thing as a bad question. And I love that segment for allowing everybody to sort of get a view from a beginner standpoint. And it was a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing that every single day. Couple of things when it comes to the Chinese ADRs. We didn't trade Alibaba this morning. It was Li Auto and NIO that were the ones that were more interesting for us. And you know, Li Auto with that flat bottom breakdown at that 38 level, it gapped through it because that's what happens when you trade in Hong Kong. And if you're wondering, hey, why no shorts on the way down on Li Auto on the breakdown? If you like that flat bottom break and you like the Li Auto short, why not have it as it broke at the open? So there's no excuses in this world. There's just what happened. And what happened was right at 9:30, NIO, which was also moving to the downside, there was a 1 million share bid. Oh, this chart's kind of jacked up. Missing data on my NIO chart. Apologies, guys. I'll go back to the 15-minute. Right at 9:30 at the open, there was a gigantic buyer at $8 on NIO. So I did the same thing as a lot of people. Like you look at it, I flipped from Li Auto over to NIO and immediately said, oh my goodness, if it breaks that 1 million on the bid, I'm just going to go short if it breaks it. So I shorted 98, and just like that, it kind of came right back through. I punched out when it got back to 05. By the time I came back to Li Auto had already flushed and was consolidating lower. So I shorted off the 36 level, got stopped, It then kind of reestablished itself right away. I'm now sitting in the short off the 36 level in Li Auto, but that should have been a breakdown on this stock. It's easy to see the shiny new thing and get distracted by it. It's the same reason Clyde Edwards-Helaire was drafted by every fantasy manager in the world in fantasy football, despite the fact that he wasn't the best, because everyone saw him run a couple times in the preseason and completely forgot everything they had seen in college. This is what happens. Everyone does it. Like, you'll be trading a stock and you're looking at the right thing. Maybe you're looking at Apple or AMD or Tesla, and then all of a sudden, a huge move happens in something you weren't anticipating trading. Now, sometimes it makes sense to go over if it's a setup you like, but in this particular case, it was 2 Chinese ADRs, one of which was the setup that we thought was A+, and going over to one that just had size on the bid. That's not a reason to go over. Like, if I'm moving, it's because I think the opportunity in NEO was better than in Li Auto, and that had not changed in that particular sense. I think Li Auto's a short as long as we're underneath the 38, going to keep looking for opportunities to do that. It is SSR, so if it were to bounce from here, it's got the short sell restriction on it, so it could have a bit of a breakout if it ever took that 36 again.
Yeah, we had, oops, I changed up my sticky note. We had Li Auto written on here as the #1 name, but it never got going to the upside. You could have just faded that 36 level for sure and been okay with that. Right now, okay, we were making some money back there on AMD today, shorting till it was wrong. Then we went long and just kind of got out of the way there going long. But now we're back into the short as it just ramped up through 97. So right now we'll take a dime. Well, take a little bit here. If we could take a little bit more than a dime, that'd be nice, obviously. As we're trading a little counter trend right now, because the NASDAQ has been not blasting, but making the moves up and hanging around much more around the high of the day than the lows. So we'll wait to see if it does retrace the view up. That would not be a surprise. As here we go. And again, Neil and I obviously sharing the mic here. I didn't want to interrupt, but we had just put this on right now. And I hope that you guys saw that as the positions just started lighting up. This was 2:04, so 3 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago now, we just put on a short, and here it comes right back in. So yes, sir. Awesome. A little bit of awesome action here today in NIO. In AMD as we go. We are also now, we just got to fill. We also just went on Google as well. And that,
doesn't sound right,
my friends, is making a move down here as well. So far, so good. As we go for Google, as we go for AMD, and we're just back into the saddle on the shorts. But let's go talk about Jean-Claude with Amazon.
They should make it. Definitely that. Yeah, we got this note this morning on Amazon investing up to, there's an asterisk there, up to $4 billion into this Claude AI. 1.25 to start, potentially 4. We don't know what that equates to as far as the percentage of what they're going to end up owning in this. But is this a case of Amazon's late to the party and trying to grasp at whatever they can find, or is this something that they're going to now build on and incorporate into what they already have?
Hard to know, but yeah. I mean, better late than never, but never late is better. The interesting thing here, they're going to actually use Amazon's in-house built microprocessors. And that's interesting because they're not going to be using NVIDIA to scale up here. So that's the #1 thing that I'm looking at. The second thing is they're using Amazon's Bedrock platform, which is also another way of making sure everything is in-house. It lets you use your AI on the cloud rather than having to build it, your large language model from scratch. So it should help with some costs here, Brent.
We knew from the start, guys, that OpenAI and Microsoft, in the end, was not going to have this market cornered and all to themselves. So here comes another big player potentially with a large language model.
Yeah, I mean, of course not. Like, it's just, that's a given. And I think there was like 10 years, it wasn't 10 years ago, but it was more than 10, it was at least more than 5 years ago. I remember reading a report, and they were talking about investment in AI, and all of the big players were making hefty investments for a long time and have been. I think the one that was technically behind at that time was Meta, but everyone's sort of playing their catch up, and they're all going to do big integration. In terms of the trade, it's stair-step to the upside. Did make one attempt to join the trend. That was at the 131. But guess what's still setting up here? That 132 level from this morning, if you're patient and you wait for it, we still are looking for it. Right? You had Friday top. You had Thursday I mean, I call it a top on Thursday. It traded higher in the pre-market, but really from the open, the high was 132.25. So at 132 is a bit of a double top, which has a chance for a breakout this afternoon. If you're waiting around for that level, maybe you look for a short off of it. I think it can be a clean break. Just because we're on big tech, I'm going to point out I am in Meta off of the 99. We had a 300 top in there, then lower highs off 99. I scalped it twice to 98 level. And I have not reloaded a third time here, looking for some weakness off that 299 on Meta. And then just one other, because we're not going to talk about it, and it just kind of made a move to the downside through 95. And through VWAP here, CGC with that dollar fail we mentioned during lunch money. It's underneath. I got short 98s and 99s. 98.4 is the current price. It just dipped under VWAP, going to get some out here at 93. But looking to take advantage of whatever pullbacks we get, because I don't think you want to look a gift horse in the mouth with these shorts. The market's still green. Yes, there have been some pullbacks, but we are consolidating up here, so you want to make sure you take advantage of the range. Get in short at the top, and then make sure you're taking some out when you get these little dips.
Let's go. If we can dip a little bit more, it'd be nice. Thank you so much for the talk there on the chat. A quick little 25, 30-cent winner there on AMD as that continues to march lower. So we're taking profit as we're at the 50 period. And as Neil said, man, not trying to be too cute with anything. Again, Amazon, the second name written on the sticky note here today. Again, for me, we were looking at a 132 break. That didn't happen, but it came pretty damn close, right? And so we didn't get stuck in this name, but maybe we should have. I don't know. Like, that could have been, I'm just talking about the short. Obviously, we didn't go long. But there it is, the pullback to 132. We talked about why we liked that short rate there on that bottom. Or sorry, why I like the breakout long. And then we liked it because of Anthropic there. New move coming through the LLM. Large language model, and we'll just wait to see what it does for their eventual business. Obviously, Amazon's going to have enough support for it. They, running the cloud with AWS, so I feel like they're going to be fine. And then the more targeted they can get with their Prime Video subscribers, with their Prime subscribers, period, as far as what you want to buy and what you want to sell, things like that. I mean, the more information, the better for everybody. So I'm excited for it. I mean, Alexa is. I don't know if it's as popular as Google's product or Siri, but I mean, this is a step in the right direction for Amazon. And again, just another one of these names that I want to buy on dips. I didn't buy anything today or anything like that, like in my own personal account. So I was thinking, I mean,